I was thinking the other day about Strava and maybe from the perspective of a before and after view. What do I mean about before and after view? Well, years ago I did a fair amount of recreational road biking, and nothing to the point of where I had any real special kit for that. Sneakers and shorts and t-shirt, maybe sunglasses, and off I would go on my 10-speed. But those days I do remember challenging myself a little bit in hopes of maybe just having a little more fun on the bike than just tooling around. And I used to, I remember what I used to do is I used to race rush hour traffic over a bridge that connected East Haven and New Haven at one time, and what I would basically do is pick out one guy or maybe two guys in a car that I would recognize, and I would take secondary roads that ran underneath the bridge and see if I could beat those guys going from West Haven over to East Haven. And I usually used to do it. I used to beat them. So I'm not sure what sort of reinforcement to how strong or how fast of a rider I was by doing it, but my point being is, other than pulling out a stopwatch and keeping a track of from what point A to what point B and how much time it took me to do it, I had no idea of whether or not I was a fast rider, a slow rider, simply just a recreational rider. But before Strava, I think my focus, like many people I'm sure, was on just enjoying the ride. And if you rode with a group of people or a couple other buddies, that's what you did. You went out for a ride. Try to find a quiet road and go out and enjoy your bike. So I was thinking about that the other day when I came back to Strava, after using Strava for a while. I think one of the things that, at least for myself, I started to pick up on is that I was beginning to compare myself. Ooh, there's a bump. I was comparing myself rather than competing with other people. And most people that I follow on Strava are younger than me, and they're stronger than me, and I think in some cases they're even belong to other cycling clubs where they compete in races. So naturally there's no way I'm gonna measure up to those people when I do a comparison. So I think after a while I became a little resentful of Strava, thinking, okay, I gotta get out there and I gotta do better this time on this segment of road. I gotta improve my scores. I gotta get my numbers up. And I think I began to lose sight of the fact that I'm really doing this for the exercise and the fun of being out on the road. Ooh, little hill there. Push up it. So anyway, with the last week or so, I'm not really doing any serious riding. Haven't been paying much attention to Strava or what's going on with it, or the people I know on Strava. And I think that was a good thing, because I think I've kind of come back to a place where I'm most comfortable and kind of represents my style of riding. I've always been one of these kind of guys that tries to get something just right, you know. We used to be called perfectionists. Now we're probably called pains in the asses. But I think I'm backing away from that misdirected energy and trying to focus more on, as I said, just enjoying the bike, enjoying the ride, and being happy that I'm fit enough to do this kind of stuff. I recently had a birthday. And now I'm a 68-year-old guy. And my question is, how the hell did that happen? Wow. Goes by fast, kids. Ah, beautiful day. Yeah, so getting back to Strava, the other thing that was beginning to turn me off a little bit is, and it's my own fault, because I was unfairly comparing where and how other people were riding compared to me. Now the weather is getting nicer, obviously. We're in June now, so I'm seeing a lot more people on weekends and sometimes even during the week, depending on their schedule, doing 50, 60 mile rides, where typically I'll put in a 30-mile ride and I'll feel good about it. So right there, you know, I'm thinking, oh crap, they're doing 50 miles. I gotta get out there and do more miles. Do I? Does that make any sense? Just because somebody else is doing 20, 30 miles more than you on a ride, and you feel compelled that you need to? So, let's say I'm taking my focus off that aspect of Strava and riding and beginning to pay more attention to some of the relationships and people that I've become acquainted with on Strava, especially those that are near enough that on some occasion I might actually physically cross paths with them or get to ride on a tour with them or some weekend event that's coming up.